Good day everyone, it's that time again. Yet another time gate is opened. So, let's see what we can accomplish till we hit the next one. At 1 FP summon, let's not expect much. That's what I figured. We do have a tech ad, so we'll go ahead and YOLO that. I repeat, don't expect anything. Well, it's at least a servant. Oh. Shame. We could have used another copy of Ku. So we have some adventure rewards to acquire. Both of those are very lovely prizes, of course. But right now we have a little boss battle. Well, sort of. It's a nice AoE berserker. Oh, I like this one. Fortunately, they don't really have MP battery. Well, this one does, but she's single target. Oh well, we'll grab her. Just swap this over here. Make sure we have the leveled version of that CE. On the one that's actually doing the fighting. We got this to level 10, so let's go back to our basic code and let's have a little fun. This time gate's about as long as, or the stuff that's opened up for us to do on today's stream is about as much as last stream, unfortunately. So it might not be a very long one. And unlike last time, I'm sort of done with my grinding and JP account, so I can't really switch over to that, otherwise we'll sequence break the story because... So it's a bit funny. This account's been around for a while. I've been playing it progression wise, it's all entirely on stream. The only thing I've done off stream is mindless grinding. The JP account is 2 weeks and 1 day old, so 15 days old on the dot. Started it pretty much right as their anniversary started, maybe a week before. But I've only actively been playing on it for, this would be the 3rd day of doing so. And I'm already towards the end of Camelot. So, that's fun, I suppose. And that's with most of those 2 days, 2+ days. Spent on grinding daily quests, and like the daily quests have actually been improved quite a bit on JP. Now, fight wise, they're still the same boring 3-wave enemy fights that they've always been. However, the Ember dailies are just brilliant now because those 5-star embers, or 5-star embers, are just beautiful. Like even when you're level 90 plus, they still give you a good chunk of EXP because each of them is worth 3 of the 4-star ones. so you really save a lot of time grinding on those. And then the QP dailies, which I actually haven't done the new ones, but I do know that they've pretty much tripled the amount of QP you get from it as well, so that's also quite lovely. And they definitely seem to have raised the drop rates of items in general in both the training ground free quests as well as both story quests and free quests. Okay, both the training ground dailies and then both the story quests, the main story quests, and then the free quests that are left behind. All of those drop rates seem to have all been raised, because I'm pretty sure I did a few training ground dailies on stream and noticed most of the time I would get like 1, maybe 2 items at most each run. But now you get a handful each time for the most part. So that's nice. And don't get me wrong, the rare drops are still a pain in the bum. But less so than they were, if only a bit. I don't think anyone's actually done proper number crunching to an extent of being certain, but the estimation is about a 10% addition to each drop rate is what I've seen people throwing around, which is pretty lovely. So this fight, as you see, we have 3 casters here, and in the back line are 3 more servants with a caster, assassin, and lancer. Each of the servants in the back line have approximately double the health that Mephistopheles here has. But yeah, at the very least, some of the quality of life changes they added to this anniversary were quite nice. I forget if I mentioned it before, but they added a permanent 5-star ticket, so each account gets 1. You get it as soon as you clear Fuyuki, which is the tutorial singularity. So after you take down Saber Altar, you can go pick you a non-limited 5-star servant. Well, a non-limited 5-star servant that's been added to the game in the past 2 years in JP. Because for some strange reason, there's no Odysseus, there's no Dioscuri, there's no Vritra, there's no Galatea. It's very odd. Basically, the newest servant, the newest 5-star that's on the ticket is Europa, who will be coming out in Global in late December with the first part of Lost Belt 5. But nothing newer than her, for whatever reason. Very curious. If you have a lot of lady servants, I definitely recommend trying to focus down Jack, because she'll get you if you're not careful. Seedonai here has a lovely brave chain, so we'll let her have at it. Come on, crits. There we go. Ah, beautiful. Seed and I will be quite useless against Jolter Lily here, or Jailter as people call her. Almost. We lost our attack buff, but we have an attack buff here. Do I need it though? I didn't need to do that because she was going to get her MP either way, so I could have put Jolter's card there in the middle. Yeah, the attack up definitely would have one-shot it. Oh well. Ow. That's an awful lot of damage for half damage. Okay, I'm gonna need you to stop. Cease. Actually, you know what? Don't worry about it. We got you covered. Boy, he's adorable. It's bloody sounds, she says. Huh. Oh, looky there, a master level. Some much needed pieces. Or at this point, it's the monuments that we need. Luckily, this event shop has them. Has 20 apiece for each class. Of course, the issue is getting enough mats to actually purchase them. But once we start using fever tickets, that shouldn't be an issue. Probably. Now, unfortunately, the this one is still locked. So our precious Raidoshi is still stuck at Third Ascension. Really is a shame. Oh, this one as well. Well, at least this one's going to be available the very next time gained. So presumably the ones that aren't marked with this will unlock at the final time gate 4 days from now. So we'll be able to start getting more copies of Suzuka Craft Essence soon. I believe this and the other ones, actually, the other ones may be in the shop. Or are they down here? No. The costumes that are in the mission rewards, I'm pretty sure are all for Saber Shiki. They're just slight alterations to her regular. She has 3 different Ascension outfits, and it just adds bunny ears to all of them. It's pretty adorable, but it's not much of a change. Okay, what are we doing now? Okay, this is a single Berserker mob. Has like 250k HP, something like that. terrifying, frightening beastie. I wonder, do we have... doing that purely because I can MP turn 1. So after you stop traveling and fear this horrifying creature, it's time to take it down. Incidentally, I'm grinding on my JP account with no events that can drop items available. I've learned that octuplet twin crystals are a very big pain in the backside when you're wanting to level Ushi and Ku, and pretty much most of the really good 1 to 3 star servants. They need a bunch of them. Then Marsh needs 5 for each skill as well. Just a bit of pain, Beko.
炎は獣に、竜は我が手に。鎖を破壊し、命の鎖を引きちぎる。ペルカーボルト、フォイアンドラーヘン。はっ。キリアクタと化せ。羅刹と化すわ。見事な采配です、先輩。
Easy as. It says Baron isn't useful. It really isn't, for the most part, to be fair. There is some servants coming out in the future, servants as well as command codes and the like that are coming out in the future that will make a bit of use of it. So there are a handful of servants and craft essences and command codes and like that do synergize with it, but for the most part, now the dot effects, poison, curse, burn, they can be useful against enemies that have a gimmick of having multiple charges of guts, so they can burn down an extra charge per turn and shorten the fight. They can be useful there. In fact, I'm pretty certain I've actually had fights like that where Jolter came in quite handy just because of that. Okay, next up is a lovely fight against a solo Lancer. I guess we do this. So she has about 100k HP to begin with. She has a break bar. And then afterwards she has about 150k. And she gives your party... She heals your party after you break her. But she also drains 50% from their MP gauge. So that's a bit of a thing. I don't want to do this. Let's just slap this on just in case. She's definitely one that quite likes crits. No use in saving this at this point. So she'll drain 50% of her gauges. But we'll go ahead and use this anyway. Just to gen some stars for next turn. We can quickly get our gauge back if we get the right crits on the right cards. Also gives her a nice defense down. So the Hokusai is going to be at 50%. As you can tell, she keeps pumping up her crits and crit damage as well. Oh, how about that? That's going to be nice. Who needs noble phantasms anyway? They're overrated. Speaking of future servants and the like that will be coming out, I'm actually thinking about specializing as a little bit. Since we happen to get an MP copy of it, it sort of inspired me to make this an Ushi focused account. So right now we have the two versions that are currently available in global of Ushi. However, there is a third that came out in JP. Now it's still quite a ways away. About a year and a half, I'd say. Actually not quite a year and a half, but a bit over a year. Maybe a year and a quarter. There's a nice Avenger version of Ushi. Sort of. It's kind of Ushi and kind of not at the same time. It's a bit of a sketchy thing. But I'm thinking what we'll attempt to do is pick one banner early to mid next year to save for and roll on, because no sense in not rolling on anything, and then really save everything so we can hopefully get it as many copies of her as we can. Because, so her that will come out not next New Year, but the New Year afterwards. Or at least during January. As you see, we grab our next letter challenge. We just have one left. Lion's letter challenge. I wonder who that could be referring to. Mammoth the foggiest. Now this is a fight against a Breakbar Archer, and then Berserker and Lancer. The Archer has about 70k on the first health bar and 100k on the second. And then the Berserker and Lancer both have right at 40k or so each, so it's not too bad. And you're forced to have Hokusai in your front line, even though she's weak to archers. But that's not going to be much of an issue, as you'll see. Reminder, she also gets inherent double damage this entire event. So it basically eliminates the counter class, and she does completely neutral damage to an archer. She's still going to take extra damage against them, of course. People lost their minds when Jolfin there was first revealed a while back, last year, because of the glasses. Apparently I'm one of the very few people floating around on this existence called the internet that is not a fan of glasses. Now if you'll notice, she gets to cheat a bit, so they're actually kind to you since they force her on you. I think I actually mentioned that, me not caring for glasses, when I did the GSSI Gadechan, because her pairs 2 Ascensions are really nice, except for the bloody glasses. It'd be nice if they made a version with that, but I mean they made a version of Old Man Lee with and without his sunglasses. So there's also a costume of Lambda Lily where she has her shades back on. So they're definitely silly enough to do little things like that. It's just a matter of getting them to. The archer class really is full of archers. I know the lies you tell yourself. Speaking of archer, we have a nice amount of archer monuments now. We could theoretically max ascend a 4-star archer Too bad we don't have one of those. I think you raised Robin on this account, right?
いらっしゃい
I was forced to raise Uriel on my JP account because I was like, okay, I've fooled around long enough, it's time to start progressing the story. But the strange thing about it is, so his mats and Uriel's mats aren't terrible. Like any mat's rough on a new account, but they both require snake jewels, or snake eye gems. Now you would think Uriel, being a snake, would need more. But no, he needs more. So it's like, okay, do I want to grind out 4 of the bloody things? Or do I want to grind out 6 of the bloody things? So I ended up getting 4, and it's like, whatever. Camelot is where Uriel's at her absolute peak regardless, so it doesn't even matter. That being said, obviously Robin is the better pick, just objectively. Honestly, in JP you could just level David as well and be a support and a DPS because he's got an upgraded MP now. So he actually does respectable damage, especially in his niche against giant enemies. But yeah, Robin is obviously the better of the two, because as long as he slaps poison on it, he's going to blow it up. See, the thing about Uriel is her MP is very weird. If you'll check on like the wiki or whatever, and you look at the way, oh, at MP1 they do, I don't know, 1000% damage. Then in MP2 they'll do 1200% damage. MP3 1300%. MP4 1350. MP5 1400. So something like that, for an example. Well, with hers, it's not like that. Hers is, once you get her MP upgraded, because it does have an upgrade, it goes from 900 base damage to 1200 base damage. But then, the MP level is instead what percentage of bonus damage she gets against male enemies. So basically, her upgraded MP against females hits about as hard as Robin had, like, let's see. Let me actually look up the multipliers here. Yeah. So Robin at MP2, and with not getting poison buff damage, his MP will hit pretty much the exact same amount as she will against the female or genderless enemies. And then if he's MP5, which is what he will eventually guaranteed be for you, he'd blow her away even in neutral like that. And not to mention the fact, it's really easy to slap poison on them, and then he's absolutely destroying. So yeah, she honestly, she could use a buff, but the fan base is so enamored with her because of how useful she is in Camelot that her legend has exceeded her actual accomplishments, if you will. Far exceeded. What are we doing here? I'm completely out of sorts. We just did this one. Okay, we're to the next VIP quest now. Well, as you can see, we can do raise, and then there's going to be another big. So we're actually behind now in big chance quests because there's this one which was available last time, and then there's one after that which came available this time. and then there's one final one after that. But still a bit hesitant because I'm not entirely certain we could swing it, and it's, I mean, we lose 4 million QP if we fail it. So per try that it takes, it would cost us 4 million QP. So there's a bit of hesitation there. Like this one is still alright, it's fine. It's not too bad. But the one that came available today is when it starts getting fairly rough, because that one has Maryland flanked by sabers on each side, all of which have well over 400k HP on their first health bar, and of course they have 2 health bars each, and then even higher HP, close to 500k on their second health bar. And then you have to worry about, and then they all get the 10k, so that they all get damage cut when the health bar's broken, which cuts off 10,000 hits of 10,000 damage for 10 hits each. And Maryland has an AoE involvement it can give at any time, so it's definitely one you have to watch out for. We'll definitely have to do some planning when it comes to actually doing these. Of course, if all else fails, these command spells can be used in a pinch. I really hate to use them, but in cases like this where you're going to lose something beyond some AP and time, and it's like QP is pretty valuable, because again, we don't have the buffed QP farming nodes like JP has now. So when you run out of QP, it's pain. It's very bad pain. So you do have to be clever about it. Now, as for what we're going to be grinding from here until the next time gate, is the VIP of this particular casino. So, as you can see, we're fighting against saber enemies. So we need a nice archer. Suppose Heracles can be here as well. Now, drop wise, this casino drops the playing cards. So if you happen to have the gacha seed for that and room for it, go ahead and take a look-see. This is easy enough, just switch to a lower level. Okay, you have... wait, no, you have it. Never mind, I accidentally swapped to the right person. Okay, seems fine. Now, next goal, I don't know if you paid attention to the top left, but our next goal to hit before the next time gate is 170 million. Of course, again, if we can get through those big chance quests, that really cuts into that as well and makes it a lot easier. I'm going to go ahead and do this just to get the cooldown rolling. Just a 6-turn cooldown for 50% charge. And an invuln and invuln pierce, both of which are 80% chance of proccing. I'll try to get some MP gain on everyone. Well, most everyone. Also, the good news is these little buggers, these particular enemy types, can drop stakes, night weaving iron stakes, which quite a lot of servants that I personally really like need in abundance. So many. Because Astarte she only needs 36, which isn't too bad. Avenger Ushi though needs 36 as well. Fujino, if you like her, who thankfully will get another banner in 2 years from now, needs 180. Oreskagol needs 216. Canis needs 132. Vritra needs 44. Rhaenys needs 216. Cersei needs 180. Cersei, who recently got an MP buff. Unfortunately, she needs a lot more than that. So, yeah, a lot of servants need them in very high numbers. There's one of those maps that came out and then boom, 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 a bunch of servants that needed a bunch of them all at once started coming out. So people really struggled, especially at first, and when it came to that. Okay, 4%. This ought to take care of Robin pretty handily. I'm actually being trolled. Actually being trolled. There we go. Good as new. There's another Hydra. So, it's a shame that the little old lady from Pasadena over here is standing there instead of here where the large lad is. Otherwise, we could nuke the snake and then nuke this lad and then save her for face card B10. So now it's just a matter of, will Robin do more damage than Hokusai? Probably. But just in case. Just in case. Because I'd hate to send 2 MPs into the same health bar. Okay, okay. Now the big question is, was that a low roll or a high roll? If it's a low roll, then fair enough. We can handle that. Just do like we did here and slap a face card in between. But if it was a high roll, or even a medium roll, average roll as it were, you buy. Oh, it might would have helped if I actually used my charisma to juice everyone's attack up a wee bit. Oops. I'm gonna say they can take 51k out. Probably. Especially with the crits. Okay, crits do double damage, and that was 57k. So that would have been 28, 50. Yeah. If that hadn't a crit, she still would have killed him. I think. This child with a massive bloody card damage. And we got a lovely dancing coin spawn. So there are actually 2 more story, well not story points, but extra quests available. For us on doing this pre-time gate. But to unlock them, we have to do a couple runs of this first. Because there's some quest we will complete, or mission rather, that bugger all. It's just not very nice. This is back up. Right, let's go and do this. Okusai obviously will absolutely wreck the dancing coins in this event. Yeah, I think it's that one, the super giant. So we'll need to do another run to get to 5. See, stakes. Now, besides Avenge Oshi, let's see. Well, there is a welfare AoE Arts Lancer that we get next year that needs 180 of them. Please. Utsumi, but and I mentioned Kanes, who we might actually roll for, just because I'd like to get her on one account at least. Unfortunately, she's story locked, so she's going to be one of those that it's going to be difficult to find, because story locked rarely get raid ups, because DW are very intelligent, and for some reason, or perhaps they don't care. There's also that aspect to it. And but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's a large segment of the player base I'm completely oblivious to that roll nothing but story. But I am under the impression, and anyone that I've ever seen talk about this game is under the impression, no run bloody roll story. because nothing is rated up there. Nothing. And the pool is insane. The deeper you are into the game, it just gets worse and worse. So yeah, she may be our initial role target. There's no one else I can see right off that we would potentially roll for next year that need stakes. The whole point of me bringing this up is the stakes. That being said, she needs 132 of the bloody things, and I don't think we're getting 132 drops from this event. I definitely recommend planning out. I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but it bears repeating. I definitely recommend looking through and planning out your rolls. We get 2 years of clairvoyance, where JP's 2 years ahead of global, so make use of it and really figure out who you like, who you know you want to go for. It really helps when it comes to saving up. Otherwise, you're just sitting there and getting surprised. It's like, oh, this looks like a nice banner. Here, let me throw this. Oh, I have 12 Saint Cools. Oops. You don't want to be in that situation. Okay, I think we can bear to do a little bit of. He needs the most gain, so I'm putting. It's like inverse of damage. It's the opposite of the way I usually do it. Finally, a bloody crit. I was becoming concerned. Okay, let's see if we can play this out just a bit safer. Use our bloody charisma this time. That's comfortably one-shotting now. Yeah, there's no killing it this time. Probably, unless a random crit happens. So we'll just take it easy. Unfortunately, we're going to lose the charisma buff for when Ishtar actually gets to pop off next turn. But
仕込みは
何の
上々
園だいいじゃない
c'est la vie.
そらよしと
そら
Okay, we should have access to Hokusai's. Noble Phantasm now. Oh, another dancing coin.
やぼてね私の本気深いんだ乗った
That could have been a mistake, but
ゲートオープン
or it might have been better to go with
光栄に思い出す
Ishchar, but I'm going to say that they're going to kill Dion here. Probably. Maybe not.
イロコはさっきの恋の
Why is she doing so little damage to Dion? Hmm.
行くぞ
He's lame.
さあ起立しなさい狙いは
So I'll show you what we do about evades.
そこ
We ignore them.
そこ
Unfortunately, she didn't crit, so we can't ignore them any further.
そこだあのシーンを捧げましょうユーラの風に大歓喜いいじゃないはいはいピョーンとつこうかそこへ息がいいのねそらしばし糸が
I swear she's doing much less damage to Dion than she ought to be. Like there, Dion had a defense up, of course, but before that,
何の園だいいじゃ
I
ん
wonder. Let's see.
やっぱ正々堂々ってのは使えますわ
Ishtar's Sky attribute. Okay. And Dion's man. That's just 10% though. So, if you didn't know, servants they each have an attribute. So the typical ones are man, earth, and sky. But and they have sort of a class triangle kind of thing going on, where man is neutral to other man attribute, but does 10% less damage to earth, but 10% more to sky. Earth does 10% damage more to man, and is neutral to itself, but does 10% less damage to sky. And then sky does 10% less damage to man, 10% more damage to earth, and then neutral to itself. And then star and beast are completely neutral to these three, but are both advantaged against each other offensively. Usually, unless you're really min-maxing. Again, it's just like a point, it's a 1.1 times damage multiplier. Or it's 0.9 damage multiplier if it's disadvantaged. So typically, it's unless you're super min-maxing, it's not the biggest thing to pay attention to. It could explain why she's doing a bit less damage than what I'm expecting, though. That and the fact that her current CE is not offensively statted in the slightest. Alright. First story quest here is against a single caster mob. Riveting, I know. You know, it's when you look at sport lists, I feel like there's some common truths that you will quickly learn. That is, it is extremely difficult to find single target riders on support lists. Like Maid Alters here, that's a surprise. And then I often put before I got too many big supports, I would use her in my all slot for a single target rider, and then I obviously adore Mordred, so she's always going to be in my rider slot, unless the event really calls for something is completely different for the event support list. But yeah, single target rider is something that's very much seems to be a rarity. But the biggest one is an actual damage dealing caster. Most support lists you will find a support in the caster slot, and then another support in the all slot. So finding an actual proper damage dealing caster is like pulling teeth. Since there's so many different types of extra class servants now, and still occasionally coming out with new ones, new extra classes, if you will, they really do need to add either some more extra slots for said extra classes. So right now, you have Ruler, Mooncancer, Avenger. Oh, that's interesting. Ruler used to be right here, and Mooncancer was up there. Wonder why they winded the triangle clockwise for. Oh, I suppose it could have been anti-clockwise. And then you have Alter Ego, Foreigner. Berserker is technically a cavalry class, so it doesn't count as an extra class. And then Shielder is an extra class, but they're neutral to everyone in the month. But we already have 5 different types of extra classes. So I feel like a lot of really popular servants are in said extra classes, but you can only slot 1 and then maybe 1 in all slot. But that's if you don't have like Tamamo, Waver, Marilyn, Scotty, and wanting to help the most people you can by slotting 2 different of the big supports. So they could definitely use with adding, I would say, a few more all slots would be very helpful for everyone. Of course, a complete overhaul to the friends list system in particular would be lovely, because now when you're first starting out, unless you join the Discord and get a lot of people that are willing to add you or something like that, it will probably take a bit of time before you start seeing this occur. Like in this case, we have like 5 people on our list, so we can always find all 5 of their lists or whatever each time we hop on here. But okay, let's not do that. Let's not get carried away and waste AP. Yeah, I can't be bothered to change any more than that. But if you start adding, if you start getting over, like, say, the mid-teens or even 20 on your friends list, then it starts to become an absolute bloody nightmare to find. If you want an exact servant but only one person on your friends list has it, even if they've logged in 20 seconds before you started looking for it, sometimes they just will not bloody pop up. And the more people you have on your list, the more that kind of thing is going to occur. So despite your friends list being, I think in JP it's over 100 now at max, maybe well over 100 now, come to think of it. If you ever approach that number, there's no bloody way you'd ever be able to find what you wanted, unless like 20 or 30 of them had the same servant in the same slot or something, and it happened to be the one you were looking for. They definitely need to update that. They need to update that. They need to update the command code system. Bugger all. Okay, here's an actual proper fight. Sort of. It's against 2 Berserker servants, each with around 120, 130 HP. And for some reason, they have a habit of stunning themselves to start the fight. Apparently they don't always do it, but it's pretty funny. Jolter and Nyalter. Doesn't particularly matter which one you take out first. So just pick one and focus them down. Wonder if that confused you as much as it did me, because I was certain that was a Brave Jane for her, but it was one of each. Oh dear. So that could be a bit of an issue if you're a moron like me and you're not paying 100% attention to where you're like, oh, well that's obviously the same loss right there. So it's obviously her Brave Jane, right? Oops. Looks like we very nearly got the MP of the one we weren't aiming for getting. So much for that, though. Berserker creates They can do a number. Classic Heracles guerrilla gameplay right here. So if you could stop critting everyone in the mum, that'd be great.
積乱座裏娘を口説くようなもんですよ。
ひょんなもので
Would very much appreciate it.
ちょうこざいな
I really like Atlanta Alta. She's actually quite good. Got a nice 50% quick up for the entire party for one turn. It's got a nice evade. Chains a lot of stars, hits pretty hard. She does have an upgrade coming as well. I don't think it's an MP upgrade. I actually can't remember what her upgrade was. Let me look. Both Atalanta, both the Archer and Berserker version of her. Okay, it's her first skill. Her crit star absorption skill. She gains a star bomb for 20 stars and a 50% buster up for one turn. So that's really lovely. So what that means is, so in a solo situation, what you'd want to do with her is, well, get her MP and then use it in a quick chain. Because she has 2 quicks, 1 arts, 2 buster. So you basically want to set up a quick chain with it to create a bunch of stars. And then the next turn, you can use your first skills for your star absorb, star bomb, and juice up your buster cards. And then Buster Arts Buster, or Buster Q Buster, or BBQ, or just a little bit extra, or BBA, depending on whether you want to gen a bit more stars to get you. Probably BBA would be the best. That'd be the highest damage, or BAB, really. So basically, MP set up a quick turn, or a crit turn, and then proceed from there. Yeah, she's quite a good unit. She can function as a plug-in arts or quick support, since it's a 50% quick up, and either version of Atalanta can do that. Archer or Berserker, they have the same exact AoE party-wide 50% one turn quick up. Well, at this point, all we have left to do is continue grinding the VIP quest here in the Requiem Casino. Or until the time gate, basically. And we're not too off. We're 32k or 32 million away. Of course, if we could actually, like, this would take 8 million out of it right there if we did that. In fact, I keep getting lost in thought is because I'm thinking about actually doing this one. So this first one or this technically this is the second one. It's Hans, Vlad the Third, and Hohenheim. Hans and Hohenheim have a 300k HP each, but no break bar, and then Vlad has 2 health bars of 350 each. So basically, you want your lovely AoE rider to blow them up if you can. You know what? Let's live a little. Otherwise, I'd have to end the stream right now. So you want to look for the damage CE here. It's a very important thing to have. The first one you could have gotten by without it, but because the break bar effect gives them such an insanely high damage cut, you'll need it just to be able to do damage to them, really. Of course, the event bonus damage helps as well. Okay, so Hokusai is actually useful because she's already doing double damage. She's basically counterclassing the casters as well, and this is just going to further increase that. Mash for a bit of defense, but mostly for the 20% battery, just to get MP quicker, perhaps. Swap Robin out for Ushi. Also, the drops, so there aren't any drops, but the reward from the QB is fixed, so you're completely free to grab whatever. Okay, we don't need the event bonus. What's surrogate? Suppose that's fine. Okay, so honestly, I may be overly paranoid about this one. This one's not too bad. The next one is actually quite rough, though, and then the one after is probably even worse. I haven't actually looked at it. The next one's just the last one's frightening because the cost just to attempt it is 50 million QB. So that's another thing. If you're sort of using your QP as you get it as you acquire it from this event to sort of incrementally raise up your servants, you should take a break from that because you don't want to go under 50 million because you'll need it for that last big chance quest. And we definitely want to be able to complete that one because that big 100 million bonus reward we get for doing it is very nice and is very needed because like the final time gate requirement is like 300 million QP of the little ladder, and we will have like 200 million at that point, so that will finish it off right there. Otherwise, you're going to be grinding the casino quests for quite a while to reach it, instead of just getting it all at once. Now, here's the big one as well. This would do the most for damage. This is a bit of safety, because got us an evade, got us a heal, and a little bit of damage. And this one's pure defense. Although, we also, the 2 turns off skill cooldown for somebody could be quite useful as well. I'm going to say we go with this, because they all have a form of defense, of hard survival. Mordred has both an evade and a gut, so she has a turn of hard survival, and then she has soft survival after that. Hokusai has soft survival in a guts. And then Mash has a targetable invuln for a turn of hard survival as well. Alright, he debuffs everyone with MP gain down, which is really frustrating. And give the defense up. Now, picking who to focus down first between Hans and Hohenheim can be a bit difficult. Hans is just going to make it more difficult to kill the enemies. Well, because he'll give an attack up, a defense up. The star gen shouldn't really matter because the enemies don't really work on the same crit system we work on. Hohenheim actually does damage in AoE with his ult. Vlad's single target. There's also the Dewey Brave chain here, or Arts chain. It'd be safe at Arts chain, just because Marsh's MP can be could save us in a pickle. Yeah, split it. Also, when it comes to MP gain, remember, casters actually give you decent MP gain when attacking them. Berserkers, however, do not. That's more damage than I would like, especially with the defense up we've got. It's really a shame we didn't get one of Mordred's cards. They're really focusing Hokusai. It's becoming quite frustrating. Maybe time to throw a guts out. Because they're about to get their NPs.
ばかり誇張して書いてやる。
Okay. There's a chance Mordred will drain their MP. Now, he should definitely be dead. Okay, let's see what happens. How is he not dead? I'm so confused. Okay. Now. Oh, this is a difficult decision. I was going to just... But a Brave Chain from Mordred could be really lovely. She's probably going to die, so... Might as well get her MP. Ah, well, Archchain. Now, I have the guts, but the issue is, if he NPs her and pops the guts, and then he attacks her again after, or if Hans attacks her after, going to be a mess. And I can't just taunt with Mash, or he'll just kill her. Well, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if Mash went there. So I think we'll do that. If she dies, she dies. It might be better to actually break him first. Decision's already been made. Okay. Yeah, there she goes. Now, I bet his buffs will actually bloody it. Well, I didn't get the defense, huh? Okay, yeah, we were definitely overreacting a bit on Hans there. We should definitely be focusing blood. That's my mistake. So we will start doing just that. I say that as if we're not possibly going to kill Holmes here. Yeah, see, the issue is he does a lot of damage. A lot. And he's going to become quite annoying to put down. Well, let's give it our best go here. Really hate to pass up that gain with Ku, but this is a lot of damage. You do have the damage, see, you know? Yeah. I don't know. This is a sketchy one. Definitely a sketchy one. Ah, right. See, Ku can't even damage him because he doesn't have the damage sheet. Bugger. That will at least get better. That will at least get better after the damage cut ends, which there's 2 licks of it left. So, we'll go ahead and that's why Heracles is hitting for so low. Actually, come to think of it. See, this next buster should, yeah, that's more like it. How many turns of guts does he have left? Alright. It's going to be gone after this turn. That's a shame, but you did us proud, Heracles. You did us proud. Now he's actually going to have less defense. Because of oh, okay. That did better than I thought. Shame he didn't crit. Ah, he got guts. So do we, though. Joke's on you, lad. I'm doing this just to hopefully actually kill him. And then proc the guts, and then Ku should be able to finish. Easy as. Never in doubt. We'll definitely be in quite the pickle when it comes to the next ones, though. The next 2. See, that really shot us up there. Yeah, this next one's an actual nightmare, though. Actual nightmare. Well, that was that. After this, we'll just continue doing the grinding this casino until the next time gate. We have 24 million QP to acquire in the meantime. So, oh, now there will be a short stream tomorrow, probably, because there should be solo radar for Lambda Lilith. So we'll do a little bit of salty rolling, because once this banner ends, then she'll be up solo with Bunny Toria here. So we'll give that a crack and see if we can't get some copies of her on my main. Wrong Lancer. We actually have some embers, but I'm saving them for her. Although she needs them too, to get her on up to 90. Oh yeah, that's a thing. We were able to find all this in Cedar Knight, so she can go to a max level of 90 as soon as we acquire the embers. So that's nice. She should, stats wise, well, I can actually just look up here instead of guessing it. So, as an estimate, you can roughly say for each 10 levels, the servant will generally get about 1,000 stat points each, give or take. So she should be at 12,600. Okay, so she's going to gain 1,400 attack, apparently. So she's actually going to gain more than expected, because non-forward at her max level at 90, she'll have 11,668 attack. But since she's forward for 1,000, we can go ahead and add 1,000 to that. So she'll be at 12,668 attack. That's not too shabby. Be nice when we have the opportunity to keep leveling and working on our units in between events, or rather doing the next event, because it's a lottery event. So yeah, that's all for today's, again, short stream. Unless, because I doubt somebody wanted to watch me grind this same node for three more times. That's how many runs we have. So I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully for some lucky rolls with Lambda Lily. Now, just like with the Maryland rolls, we're probably not going to go too crazy because, again, the vast majority of the tickets in St. Courts need to go to Astarte. Because I really do need to get her at minimum at at least MP2, hopefully. If I can't. Of course, I say that, and I could very likely roll absolutely everything I currently have, in addition to what I would gain in the future, all honor. So, okay. To better word what I was attempting to say there, I could not roll for Lambda Lilith and save absolutely everything from now until her event comes up, and then roll for her and not get a single copy. That does happen to people, and that's a risk you take when there's no pity system in a game, which this one still does not have, unfortunately. So yeah, hopefully that does not happen to us, but we'll see how our rolls tomorrow go. So, hope you enjoyed, and see you then.